I can't put it into words. Maybe Attitude Era-ish all over again. Who knows? Because AEW is definitely on the rise.
Paul, so good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Chris. It's been awesome to see you again, man.
It's good to see you too. I wish it could be in person, but this is how things are right now.
Yeah, that's how they work, right? All of us in the past 2 years have learned how to use Zoom quite well. Like I don't think I ever knew what Zoom was before all the pandemic and stuff. And now I feel like a Zoom pro. That makes
That's right.
sense.
The last time I saw you was 5 years ago, which is crazy. We did that interview.
That's so fast.
By the beautiful bay out there. And
right.
At that time, we were talking about a match that might happen between you and Shaq. And
we're still talking about it.
I feel like more than ever that actually might happen now.
I think it will happen now because there's not as much red tape. I mean, he's already competed here in AEW, had a great match with Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill, and Shaq versus Cody Rhodes in Red Velvet. And that was an incredible showing for Shaq. So hopefully we'll be able to cut some more red tape and make it happen. He's been hitting the gym lately. Shaq's pretty big right now. Like he's huge Shaq, I guess is the best way to look at it. I think he's a little nervous about me, so he's putting on a little size.
Well, he's huge Shaq, and you're like the opposite. I feel like you're smaller than ever.
Yeah, I'm like tall Paul, the slim car salesman. That's what I am now.
When we talked last time, I think it was the first time that you were under 400 pounds. You were 396. Right. What are you weighing in at these days?
I got as low as 370, and right now I'm about 408, 410. So I'm still keeping it low. COVID is the pandemic put a real big hit in a lot of training and stuff like that. So just now that things are starting to work, I'm getting stuff back together. But it's fun now. You know how to get there, so you just got to really gear up on getting there again. Like get your diet in order and make that commitment to get the cardio in and stuff.
I like how you casually talk about 400 pounds being low-ish.
Oh, dude, when I was 500 pounds, I was a quarter ton of fun for 15 years. You know what I mean? So for me, when I say 400, I still feel a little light in the pants. You know what I mean? But I think for what I'm planning on doing with future stuff, it's just easier for me to get under 400. Stay around 375, 380 would be good. Well, that's such a weird thing. I'll stay around 375 or 380. I'll look like I've got, like I've got an eating disorder, but it'll be okay.
How's your hip feeling?
Good. My the one that I had the surgery on, of course, QT was gracious enough to show that on Dynamite. With my big butt, with my big scar all over national TV. It's good. We went through some complications with it. That's why there's so many surgeries. But now I feel like Wolverine. It's 5 pounds of titanium, and I can do anything. I'm actually cleared to jump out of an airplane. I could parachute. Not that I would, because we don't need to see Operation Dumbo drop. So I'm not jumping out of any airplanes anytime soon. They probably have to use like a tank parachute or something. So that's funny. Years ago, I was at Fort Bragg. Mark Henry and I were there with the soldiers, and they were all out of the jump tower. They were like, "Oh man, you got to go out of the jump tower. You got to go out of the jump tower. We'll build you a harness to go out of the jump tower." Right there, build me a harness. Like, no, I'm good, bro. I got OR disease. I can't do it. And Mark Henry, my best friend, puts his hand on my knee. He looks at me, goes, "You've got OR disease? What is that, man?" I said, "Old and rich. I'm not doing that dumb crap." He about fell off the bleachers laughing. So there'll be no Paul Wight jumping out of airplanes anytime soon.
Well, how long were you walking around with your hip bothering you? Because I imagine there's a lot of wrestlers that would, let that go for years.
I had like pieces of the ball joint that were broken off and missing, and holes in it actually. So I will probably want to say probably a year and a half I worked like that. Constant pain, sleeping, riding in cars, sitting, and I was still making the gym and still doing what I had to do and still biking and still doing everything that I want to do. It's just, it got to a point. My biggest thing about getting an implant put in is I thought it would end my wrestling career. So, and then after taking the time, because before when doctors would talk to me about it, I was like, "No, I'm not interested. Not interested. I'll get through it. And then when I sat down and talked to somebody that knew what they were talking about, says, no, you can have a career. You can still do everything you want. The devices it's different, and the physics of it and all that, I'm good to go. So once I finally got it done, and after we got through the complications, it's the best thing I've ever done. It's amazing. Like, I went from being constantly 24/7, being in discomfort and pain, to like now I feel like John Travolta. I'm going to go out there and do some Saturday Night Fever and do some disco dancing.
So how excited are you to get back in the ring?
Oh my God, Chris, you have no idea. I've been sitting and I'm having a great time doing the commentary on Elevation. Although if I'd have known we would have had a live Rampage come on TNT, I might have pushed for that spot. But at the time, my opportunities were the new show Elevation, so I jumped at it. And I'm having a great time with Elevation. Great time working with Tony Schiavone. Great time seeing the younger talent. But man, I have just been chomping at the bit to get back in the ring. There's so much I want, so many talents that I just want to work with and spend time in the ring with, and try to help pass that knowledge along and still have fun. I mean, that's one of my biggest reasons for making the transition, is I still want to compete in the ring. I had to leave WWE. I had done everything there. There was nothing for me to accomplish. There was nothing there for me to do more of. And I still like lacing up boots. I still like getting in the ring, so luckily Tony Khan gave me that opportunity.
I just feel like you're right. You've done everything in WWE. You've done everything in wrestling.
Yeah.
What's possibly left on your bucket list or your goals list?
My bucket list, it's funny. Like, I guess I'm gonna really tell a bad professional secret. I don't have a bucket list, Chris. I've never been a guy to say, oh, I've got to do that. I'm not a goal setter. I know some guys wake up every morning that have goals. They have checklists, think, believe, achieve. I try to enjoy every day and be thankful for every day. And every day that I get to go out and compete or be around the talent or interact with fans, I mean, it's a good day. And I've got other projects that I'm working on the side, some TV projects and some movie stuff. So that's all picking up speed now. I don't have anything to complain about. I just take every day and enjoy it. That's bucket list, man. Here's me. I'm like Samuel Jackson. I won't turn anything down but the sheets as far as opportunities go. I say yes to everything. You know what I mean? Yes to everything. So I look forward to whatever opportunities are available, because AEW, I'm telling you, after Rampage tonight in Chicago, the wrestling world's going to get knocked on its ass. I'm telling you, it's going to be, if the scuttlebutt is true, it's going to be, I can't put it into words. Maybe Attitude Era-ish all over again. Who knows? Because AEW is definitely on the rise.
If this scuttlebutt is true with CM Punk, what
I like
does
that
this
word,
mean?
scuttlebutt.
It's a great word.
It's a great word, right? Yeah.
What does this, if CM Punk is in fact in WWE, or in AEW, what does this mean for the world of wrestling?
For the world of wrestling, I mean, it's probably the biggest, most anticipated return ever. I mean, you think about the biggest impactful moments in wrestling, moments which you look back here, say, I was there. Were you there when Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant? Were you there? Where were you when Stone Cold Steve Austin cut the infamous 316 promo? When Hulk Hogan came to WCW, the NWO, when the NWO was formed. I mean, there's so many moments in history, and I'm guaranteed I'm leaving a lot of special moments out. But I think this is one of those moments tonight. It's our second Rampage. It's in Chicago, sold out United Center. I mean, the stage is set. It couldn't be served up anymore to make an incredible wrestling moment that reignites the wrestling industry. This could, there's so many companies now they're springing up, they're doing well, Impact and all these other different companies that are NJPW, all these companies now that are recovering, that are growing, that the fans are searching out for. Now you're getting to that competition of, let's give up the best product that we can to our fans. Let's turn it out. Let's give them authentic, unique, diverse talent. And I think now is the opportunity. Go ahead, put the spotlight on it. We're ready to shine.
I think the phrase "rising tides lift all ships" is so applicable to what's going on now with.
Wow, that's a good saying.
Well, it's not my
Wow.
saying. This is
No,
not
but
my
it's
saying.
good. Let me put that in my notebook because I'm
Yeah,
an
write that.
announcer now. I need things like that.
Yeah, you should
Rising
use
tall
this in
ships.
your next one. Yeah,
Yes.
but I feel.
My
I,
friend Chris said, rising tides lead all ships. There you go.
I just feel like it's so applicable with what AEW is doing because there was a time there when WWE had no competition. And
No,
now with
and that's
AEW coming in, it's changed everything.
well, and that's the thing too, and that's not a knock on WWE. That's a tale of success for their business plan, their business model. I mean, WWE is the biggest global wrestling company in the world. They owned everything for a long time and dominated the entire industry. But at the same time, that's not good for the talent. It's not good for the fans because there's only one place to work to be successful, to make money, to become a star, to develop your brand. Then if you don't make it there, there's no other opportunities. You
Yeah.
know, if they deem you're not right for us, or your whatever storyline that you were put in is not right for you, then you could literally see your wrestling careers of trying to feed a family, make a career out of it, could go away because companies were so choked off they weren't allowed to make money. Now with a company that does have some sincere backing and does have the opportunity for the talent to create authentic characters. And what I mean by authentic is I mean characters that are true to the person portraying the character. Like, you know, and I tell the younger talent time, wrestling's an art form. It's an interpretation. All the moves are the same. Backdrops, hip tosses, all of that's all the same. Once in a while, somebody will come up with a new move that's innovative and great, but basically it's all the same. But it's still an art form, and how you take something. We all steal stuff from each other. We steal stuff from the past. We steal stuff from Mexico, from New Japan, from all over, from the UK. And that interpretation allows you to develop your own character and make that connection with the audience. And you know, and the thing that I love about AEW, there's not 35 writers backstage running around handing you a promo. You know, I mean, if you have a promo in AEW, you have a promo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you have one, you know, and it's like, wow, it's a little bit different pressure. The pressure before was trying to memorize a whole bunch of stuff. And now the pressure is, gee whiz, I'm a pretty witty, funny guy, but this pressure is real. And, you know, so I love the fact that AEW gives the talent a chance to be authentic and true to themselves, because if the talent doesn't believe in it, the audience won't.
I just assumed you'd be with WWE for the rest of your career. I mean, you'd been there
So
for
did I.
20 years.
I was there for 4 decades, man. And here's the thing: it was just one of the things. For me, it was just I wasn't ready to be in the position that I was getting. I won't say pushed to, but this was the only opportunity available to me, was to go this way. And I just felt like at the time, like, that's not for me, you know. And I didn't leave mad or pissed off or any of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a business. You have to do what's best for you in your business, and they have to do what's best for them, and they have their company plan and what they want to do and moving forward. And if you don't fit, then, you know, you seek a life elsewhere. Because I didn't know if I was going to get a job after leaving WWE. I didn't know if I was going to be in wrestling again. I knew I was working on some TV stuff and some movie stuff. So I didn't pursue talking to anybody until after my WWE stuff ended. You know, and then having some conversations with Jericho, of course, who's a dear friend. And I was like, you think they would be interested in talking? He says, well, you should talk to Tony. And I met Tony a long time ago. So I had got his number from Chris and shot him a text after my deal was done. And we talked on the phone for a couple hours. Tony Khan keeps weird hours. Like, he's one of those guys that's up from 1 a.m. till 4 a.m., you know. But that conversation was exciting because we talked about future of wrestling and psychology and helping younger talent and character building and all these different things and plans to do after AEW. And he actually got me super excited on the phone, which I haven't been in a long time. I mean, I have fought in the grind and been a cog in the gear in the machine and been a good soldier. And I've done all this stuff and fought long, hard, and fought through pain and been sick with fever. I've done that whole rigmarole and toured the world. So it was hard for me to because I had passion, I had desire, but then to have someone else who owns a company or runs a company inspire you further. I mean,
Yeah.
Chris, I'm the luckiest man on the planet right now. I have a chance to be a part of an organization that's growing, which for me is great because I get to have input and I get to help build something, which is important, and I get to have fun. I mean, oh, and I get paid too. Yeah, that's another one. I get paid too.
When you were leaving WWE, was there any part of you that thought, maybe I'm done with wrestling?
Yeah, yeah. There's a part of me that thought that maybe the door is going to be closed on this, because for so long you can get into your head on so many things, and there's always that doubt there. Like, you have to be willing to move forward. You have to be willing to say goodbye to yesterday. You know what I mean? And for me to move forward,
that's a good one right there.
Really? I just made that up. Well, there you go. To move forward, you have to be willing to say goodbye to yesterday.
So good. So, put it on a shirt.
Don't put it on my shirt, because even John Cena said I can't sell merch. So there you go. He used to tease me all the time. Cena used to say if my merch was money, nobody would buy it. And I said, well, that's because I'm too busy making you look good. So anyway, bad guys sell tickets and good guys sell T-shirts. So there you go. Yeah, but that was the thing. I had to be willing to leave that comfort zone of WWE. Look, I could have stayed with WWE. I could have made an incredible living. I would have had a golden parachute, if you will, do media things, all the fanfare that go with that comfort. I didn't want that. I'm still hungry. I still like to fight. I still like to compete. I still like to be a part of something. Standing around twiddling my thumbs and being bored, I cannot do. I need to be always moving forward. I'm about what's right now and what's tomorrow, and I could give really two shakes of a fig of what was yesterday. It's not my thing. I don't care about titles won. I don't care about accolades, any of that stuff. I wanted, what are we doing today and what are we doing tomorrow? And to have the opportunity to be a part of something that's moving momentum with that kind of synergy and force in AEW, I can't be luckier or happier. But yeah, it was scary leaving WWE. It was, because even now I'm in AEW and I've been around a long time and stuff like that. Kenny Omega is an executive VP who busts his ass backstage in the company, helping everyone who has earned that spot, who helped put AEW on the map. Chris Jericho, big part of the company, helped put AEW on the map. Cody Rhodes is a big guy backstage that aligns a lot of things with AEW's community directive and works with a lot of the talent. The Young Bucks are all over executive positions there, but it's not just the stuff they do on TV, it's all the stuff they do behind the stage. So yeah, I'm not the big star there in AEW. I don't have 4 decades of putting asses in seats and drawing money and making the company money. I don't have all that. I'm like the new guy that's got to earn my stripes a little bit, and I dig it. I really do dig it. I mean, everybody's been super cool and super respectful, but just for me my gut on the inside, I can't wait to get out there and prove, why I've been in this business as long as I have and why I am who I am.
Do you think there's anything in the ring you can't do now that you could
do? Yeah, I can't do. I can't do a moonsault. Yeah, can't do a moonsault.
You could do a moonsault?
I could do one. I'm just not going to. No. There's a lot in the ring right now. I don't think so. I think that for me going forward, it's just whatever opportunities we can help to move AEW forward. Do I want to wrestle 5 nights a week like I used to? I don't think I can do that. That was wearing on me years ago. I think, but I don't know if our product is going to develop to that stage or not. I know that we're really television oriented and sure, I wouldn't mind working a couple of times a month. You know what I mean? I know that I'm doing the commentary. Want to keep working hard at that and get better. And the competing and have fun with it. Yeah, if I get an opportunity to compete for any kind of championships, if something works its way out and it's good for AEW, it's good for the talent I'm working with, absolutely. That's always been my theory anyway on things about working in the ring. If you get the match over and get your opponent over, you're going to get yourself over. You take care of A and B, C is automatically going to happen. Sure. So I think that's an attitude that's allowed me to be around for a long time, is to have business attitude about doing what's best for everything around me, not just what's best for me.
Yeah.
Ego-wise.
I feel like you can be involved in wrestling for as long as you want, but do you think about
I
how
hope so.
long you can actually be in the ring competing?
In the ring competing, well, I mean, I've got a pretty extensive deal with Tony. Tony wanted to make sure that I had a home for a while. It gave me a lot of security with that. And that's just depending on how I feel. I don't know if you can ever say goodbye to something. But if I ever do make the choice to retire, I will retire from in-ring competition. Will I leave wrestling? I don't think so. I mean, I'm still fortunate enough to do the commentary. I'm still fortunate enough to help build the AEW brand. And as far as films and TV, if that stuff still works out, I mean, they always need an extremely good-looking, bald. Oh, they already got a guy. His name's Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, I might want to rethink that. Damn it.
Yeah.
I got to rethink my portfolio strategy.
Yeah.
Nah, but for me, it's just having fun right now, having fun and trying to keep the fans entertained and just making something out of every day, man. Got it.
I do want to ask you about your film career. And
Right.
was it the Waterboy that really put you into the zeitgeist for a lot of people?
I think Waterboy was definitely one of those iconic things that you're a part of, but you don't realize at the time. You got this small part in Adam Sandler film, which was very cool, but you don't know at the time there's going to be this iconic character that people will never forget. I mean, I go places and people ask me to sign Captain Insano all the time.
No,
I'm true story, man. True story. I keep.
I mean, he does show no mercy.
It shows no mercy, brother. But I would love to do some kind of a spin-off wrestling character with Captain Insano. If I ever got the clearance to do that, buddy, I would break out the stars and stripes and the capes and the whole 9 yards, and I would have a hoot with it. It would be a brand new character, and Captain Insano would be a hoot and a lot of fun. But that was a cool thing. That whole thing was one day to do that Waterboy part. That was all one day, and it took me literally about an hour and a half, like maybe 2 hours for the whole thing. And Adam Sandler was so cool to work with and just so kind. I don't know how else to explain it. He was so kind and fun to work with. And his mom, for the longest time, just anytime we would like Super Bowls and stuff like that, they would be there. Adam and his mom and his dad. And she would grab my hand and run around and introduce me to people as Adam's giant wrestling friend, Paul. Like she was just so proud of the fact that Adam knew this gigantic human being that was a pro wrestler, and she was so sweet and nice. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing too. That's one of the other things you talk about, opportunity. For so many years, being on the work schedule that I was with WWE, I didn't have time to do anything else.
Yeah.
There's so many projects that I had to step away from. I mean, years ago, when I first signed with WWE, Nick Cage had reached out to me because, his son at the time was a big fan of me as a Giant. And Nick Cage was trying to hook me up with this Russell Crowe movie that was being shot in Spain, but I'd have to be in Spain for 6 weeks for it. So, but I'm thinking, wow, Russell Crowe, you knew this guy was going to be a star. Nick Cage is helping me get this part. Like, all I got to do is I've got it. Just
show
got to
up.
get permission to go. I just got to show up. I've got the part, and I go to Vince, and Vince is like, paying you to be a wrestler, not an actor. So, okay, well, that was the end of that. So then, okay, you're right. And you're paying me a lot of money to be a wrestler. You're right. Yes, sir. I'll go back to work, sir. And the wrestling business was different then. It wasn't as much crossover, because for a while, WWE is very against wrestlers crossing over into movies. You know what I mean? And then eventually they got with the program. But so I'm sitting in the movie theater watching this movie Gladiator.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, oh, yeah, that would have been awesome to be a part of that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, good choice, Paul. Good choice, man. Way to go, dummy. But again, those are, now with AEW, I have all the opportunity in the world to do outside projects, to be a part of. I'm doing it right now. I got scripts right now. I'm sitting there going through for reads. I got a
Yeah.
to put on tape later this afternoon. So
That's
to be
Captain
able to
Insano, the movie. That's what the script
Captain,
is.
yeah, actually, Captain Insano, the movie. Yeah, yes, actually Bobby Boucher is finally going to get to be a water boy for Captain Insano. So yeah, that having the ability to do outside projects and having that freedom to help build the Paul Wight brand, because it's a little bit of an identity crush too, to be, for so long to be one thing, and then I don't own the intellectual property. Now I have to walk away from it, and I have to reintroduce myself to everyone. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. That kind of thing.
But you're one of those people that when you meet you, even if you aren't aware somehow of who you are through wrestling, you go, oh my God, that guy is massive. And he has this huge star quality to him.
I think so. It's either a star quality or I just stick out like a sore thumb, one of the two. Like I remember before I ever got into wrestling, before I ever had a chance to be, I guess, famous, whatever that's worth, he was like, oh, you should do something. So, yeah, really? Should I? Well, what should I do? Like, wow, you should play football. You should do this. You should do that. Like everybody always had an opinion when you're tall and you're athletic and you're big. Like there's plenty of people to give you advice, and I will tell you this funny, true statement. When I was at Wichita State University, Xavier McDaniel is a former Shocker and Wichita State basketball player. So Xavier McDaniel over the summer would come back to Wichita and work out with some of the guys in the weight room. And X-Man was always great at talking trash, and he was giving me a hard time in the weight room. He says, man, you just need to quit playing basketball and go into pro wrestling. I said, man, I'm going to be a pro player. I said, I'm going to try out for every team in the league. I said, I'm going to be pro. He was like, man, you're going to be the only 7-footer cut by the Japanese team. Like that. Like he's just giving me a hard time. He says, what you should do? He said, you should go into wrestling and tell him you're Andre the Giant's son and you're here to avenge your dad's debts. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to be a wrestler. I'm going to play basketball. And then years later, like 5 years later, boom, I'm in WCW, the son of Andre. So if you really want to think about who thinks about the future and who knows, it was Xavier McDaniel. He's the one who knew.
That's it. Who was it that came up with the name The Big Show?
That was Vince. Because I first came into WWE, I was Paul Wight.
Yeah.
And I just don't think Vince liked the spelling of my name or liked my name. I mean, what would Vince McMahon know about marketing? You know what I mean? But he walked by me one day and he goes, how's the Big Show today? I'm like, good. Who the hell's the Big Show? You can walk, you can talk, you're an athlete, you're the Big Show. And when he walked off, I went, oh dear God, I hope that's not my wrestling name. And it was. But if you think back then, there was the attitude, it was the Monday Night Wars, the Big Show, also TBS. So, there was a lot that went into it, and that's okay. I mean, over the years, just like anything, if you do something long enough, it's all in what you do and you can make it your own. Just as uncomfortable as it was to be known as, the Big Show for so many years. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. Now to rebrand, to restart as myself, it's a little hard because I have a great Big Show autograph. My real autograph, my real signature is good, but I don't want to be putting my real signature out there for, document forging. Next thing you know, I'll end up owning a bunch of timeshares in the Bahamas or something, But, just trying to figure out right now, just been trying to figure out that new identity. And for once, I actually have a little bit of input on my character. So hopefully my character won't be as schizophrenic as it was the past 4 decades. Heel one day, babyface the next, change 2 or 3 times in a match. I mean, I don't know if that's talent or what, but I was prepared to do anything. Is that talent? Is that what it's called?
I mean, not everybody can get over as a babyface or a heel.
Yeah, and
you do it so fluidly.
See, man, that's why I love you, man. You're the best. You're the best. You're like a motivational coach. Like right now, I'm ready to do it.
Rising tides lift all ships.
Rising tides lift all ships. That's it.
How much of the Big Show getting over could be attributed to your music? Because there's a reinforcement every single time you come out to the ring.
Listen, when you have, and I'm so grateful for that Big Show song and Jim Johnston. And I think Michael Hayes actually sang the original Big Show song. I think for a while he sang the demo on it when I first heard it. So there's a lot of history with that Big Show song. It's iconic when Shawn Michaels walks in the locker room and he goes, "Well, it's the Big Show." Like, he'll sing the song. So, you know, you're making an impact on people. And to move forward to now, AEW, we got Paul Wight. We've got our new theme music. And it's incredible how we were able to kind of make it feel a little bit the same, but improve it and make it new. And it's definitely not the Big Show anymore. It's something new, and it's a new attitude, and old friends, you know, old faces, and still same attitude. So it's cool to have that kind of iconic music, because you need to walk down that ramp and you need to feel that it's you. You know, like, I don't think I could come down to like Jack Evans or Angelico's music. I mean, I could. I mean, and Angelico dance is really good in the ring. Like, you know, he's one of our big stars in AEW, and he's got his own disco dance, like he's catching the wind. I'm a huge fan of it. I talk about it all the time on Elevation. You know, the guy knows 2,000 wrestling holds, but I'm not worried about that. I just like seeing the guy dance. I think it's cool.
It's been such a pleasure catching up with you, Paul.
Awesome, man. I'm so happy that you're out in LA enjoying that beautiful weather out there. And hopefully I'll get out there. We'll hook up and go get something to eat. Go get some street food.
I don't know if I could afford the bill for all the things that you eat.
Come on, man. I'm number one. I'm eating more sensibly now. And number two, I'd pick up the check. See?
Look, I end every interview with the same question. I appreciate that. I talk about gratitude. So every day I start and end every day saying out loud 3 things I'm grateful for. And I end every interview with that. So what are 3 things in your life that you're grateful for right now?
3 things right now that I'm grateful for. My health, my peace of mind, my friends and family.
I love it.
I think those are core beliefs to keep everything going, because everything else is transitional. Everything else is up and down. But, you know, if you're physically healthy and mentally healthy, and you have friends and family, then the rest you can make on your own.
Love it. Paul, thanks so much.
Thanks, Chris, man. You're the man, bro. Hey, you're really getting the LA look down now. I'm just saying, the hair, the beard, you're jamming the LA look. Like, you look like you're like a lead in your own detective story or something. See?
You and I should be in a buddy cop comedy.
Buddy cop comedy? Yeah.
Yes.
The good looking guy and the ogre. There you go. I did.
So you're calling me an ogre? How dare you?
Well, you know, I didn't say that, but come on, you know. Come on. You're the man, Chris. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.